AITA for telling my son-in-law's wife she will never take my daughter's place? I lost my daughter Abby 7 years ago. She was married to Scott and had 3 children with him who are now 11, 12 and 14. Scott and my grandkids stayed part of the family, and last year Scott remarried. His current wife is Beth. We all knew Beth for a few years prior to the wedding, and she was always very friendly, though at times she could be a little pushy. Scott would always handle that though. After they got married, Beth's pushiness got worse and Scott appears to have lost control. Beth was upset when she dropped my grandkids off one day that we had not added photos of her to our house and commented as such. In our living room we have a display with photos of our kids and their weddings. She felt her and Scott's wedding should be there. She was upset when my grandkids spent Mother's Day with us and our extended family and we did not include her. Scott wasn't invited either. Mother's Day is a difficult day for him due to a bad relationship with his own mother. But Beth said we should invite her too because she's part of the family, and then she said she's one of our kids too. I asked her what she meant and she told me she is obviously going to be one of our kids now that she's the mother figure for our grandkids. I told Scott what she said and he was embarrassed and told me he would speak to her. Beth was also upset when my husband posted on Facebook to say something about our kids and she didn't get mentioned as one of our kids, but as Scott's wife. We mentioned Scott and how wonderful he was to Abby and how wonderful he is as a father. For my grandson's 14th birthday, we were all together and he wanted a mom's side photo. Beth attempted to get into the photo, and when Scott tried to remind her, she said she's part of the family now. He pulled her aside and the photo was taken without her. But she told one of my sons after that she felt like we weren't treating her as a daughter, and then said Scott never treated her as a lesser wife. We saw them a little over Christmas and Beth was upset that we got them a joint gift for her and Scott, instead of getting her one alone. She told me she's tired of feeling like she's not really family, and she said she feels like we always put Abby first when she's here now. I saw red after this and I told her she can never take my daughter's place, and the fact she ever thought she could is outrageous. She told me the kids call her mom and they think the world of her, so why wouldn't we? I told her the kids have always called her Beth when I hear them, and she turned around and said, "That's our fault because the kids should be calling her mom and they don't." She lost it from there. Beth stormed out and I explained what happened to Scott. He apologized and left the kids with us so he could speak to her. I think they worked it out, but Beth said I was needlessly cruel to imply she's not as good as Abby and doesn't deserve to be our daughter. AITA? NTA. You are Abby's parents and not Scott's. You have a good relationship with him and your grandchildren, and that is wonderful. But she is not your family. She is Scott's, and a stepmother to your grandchildren. She seems to be pushing boundaries and misunderstands that your relationship with Scott is based on the relationship he had with your daughter. You have included Beth in what you are comfortable with, but you are not obligated to treat her like your daughter. And her comments about being the children's mother and that your daughter is put first despite having passed is alarming. NTA. Wait. Let me get this straight. Scott married your daughter, making him your son-in-law. You lost your daughter. My condolences. Your son-in-law, who is not bio-kin to you, remarried and now his new wife thinks she's your daughter? Is she freaking mental? NTA. I mean, she sounds unhinged. There's no logic that would suggest she would ever be like a daughter to you. Even if your grandkids do consider her a mother figure, now or in the future, that's not a transitive relationship. She is married to your daughter's widower. That's it. There's no familial relationship between her and you. If she's pushing this gonzo, replace Abby in every aspect of her life agenda consistently, that is Honestly kind of scary. Sounds real weird. I would keep my distance as much as possible while maintaining the relationship with the grandkids. And meet all her weird suggestions with, "What a strange thing to say." NTA. Having 2 daughters. I can't imagine how painful it was for you to lose yours. Even if years have passed, it's still the greatest loss for a parent. So yes, Beth's behavior is extremely intrusive and inappropriate. I would have a word with Scott to make sure that, in their home, Beth respects the children's wishes if they don't want to call her mother. NTA. I told her she can never take my daughter's place, and the fact she ever thought she could is outrageous. All I can say to that is WTF. Was she thinking she could actually replace your daughter? She is acting unhinged. NTA. Beth is crazy AF. She's treating this like you are Scott's parents, not Abby's. Like for real, this woman needs some serious therapy. I'm so sorry for your daughter's passing and that you have to deal with all this. She told me the kids call her mom and they think the world of her, so why wouldn't we? I told her the kids have always called her Beth when I hear them, and she turned around and said, "That's our fault because the kids should be calling her mom and they don't." She lost it from there. The way Op checked Beth with this receipt nearly caused me to spit my drink out. NTA. NTA. She is being far too much here. You should not have a wedding picture of your deceased daughter's husband, new wife, or have to get her gifts. Maybe for this photo y'all took you didn't quite need to exclude her, but she seems to be trying to force her way into your life when she needs to worry more about her relationship with the kids. NTA. And Beth needs to be shut down hard every time. Her behavior is outrageous. There's nothing that makes any sense coming from her. She is the wife of your late daughter's widowed husband, which makes her absolutely nothing in your family. Scott should look at getting her a mental health evaluation. NTA. Scott needs to reevaluate who the hell he married. Beth expecting to replace your daughter is borderline something. I'm so confused. How can anyone even think they can be considered the daughter of your husband's previous wife's family? This is so abnormal, I can't even wrap my head around it. Do you have any idea her relationship with her immediate family looks like? If she has no relationship with her family, it sounds like she was hoping she could have a family by marrying Scott, but since it sounds like he has a bad relationship with his mother and he's close and a part of your family, she thought maybe she could integrate with yours? NTA. I'm sorry, but does Beth think that because Scott was married to your daughter, and now he's married to her, that she is, by some ridiculous logic puzzle, your daughter now? That because her husband's kids are your family, that she is too? You don't owe her anything. You are accepting because she's now family adjacent, and because arguing with her could affect your relationship with your grandkids. But she isn't your daughter, or your daughter-in-law. NTA. Beth has some issues she needs to work out. Insecurities about her place in the family. That doesn't mean you have to make her feel like a daughter. It's lovely you invite her to family events at all. Many grandparents would only take the children. Scott needs to work with her on this. Mother's Day can be a special day for the two of them to be kid-free. Honestly, many moms would die for a day off. It sounds like he is trying though. NTA. Beth needs help, a lot of it. Yikes. NTA. Scott needs to shut this down immediately. Esh. If you're going to treat Scott like he's your son, then you need to treat his new wife like family. She needs to stop being pushy and needy though. You can't force people to like you. If people snub you, act like you couldn't care less. If someone doesn't want me in their family, I'd never let them know it hurt me. If you all aren't willing to treat Beth like family, then he needs to drop out of your family too. Of course he should still encourage your relationship with the kids, but that should be the extent of it. I'm on the other side of everyone apparently. Is there harm in giving her a little love? She is the step-parent to your grandchildren. She loves and cares for the man you through marriage accepted as a son. Does loving her take away from your beautiful daughter? Is it a betrayal to her? I am of the belief it's not. If you only tolerate her, I can understand her feelings. Beth is obviously stepping on tender toes with her sense of entitlement. You are not wrong. She needs to understand her position as Sil's wife. And maybe stepmom. If the kids want to call her that, it has to be their choice. But 7 years isn't so long that they don't remember their mother. And her trying to erase her memory to them is just too far. She needs to learn her place. NTA. That is some grade A audacity on her part. My head just can't wrap around how she thinks she is so special that she saw and replace your daughter. This isn't even about filling the role of new wife in her husband's family. She actually thinks she should be your child. She needs therapy badly. From what I gather, Beth is being made to feel like she's replacing Abby. She isn't. She happened to love Scott, who happened to have kids with Abby who happened to pass. She's trying to be a mother to them and a wife to him. And while you have the right to grieve and prioritize Abby, she also has the right to want to feel like her family is her own. I think you should have a discussion about boundaries. Abby's death was very, very unfortunate, but Beth is here. She loves Scott. She loves your grandkids. Try to figure it out.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.